Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? You know what? Today, I wasn't even gonna record today. I wasn't even planning on coming online today, but just reacting to the breaking news that's been doing the rounds today. It's everywhere. Social media is going crazy. Manchester United are to sack Eric Ten Hag after the FA Cup final against Manchester City on Saturday. Breaking news. I think it was in the Guardian. A lot of the outlets, a lot of the newspapers as well have reported it. It's online, it's on the social media, it's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So I've just come on just to cover it. Let's look at this situation. Look, with Eric Ten Hag, you know, I myself, look, I've made it clear on some of my other videos that I don't think he should get sacked. I still think like he should be given a chance to start next season. Under the new structure, Ineos have come in. He should be given an opportunity to work under the new structure. But it looks like, well, from the information that we're getting, the breaking news that we're getting, is that, you know, he will get sacked whether he wins the FA Cup or not. You know what I mean? So he will be sacked whether he wins the FA Cup on Saturday against Manchester City or not. That was already a hard game. It was already a tough game against the champions. And Manchester United they're bound to lose that game anyway, but it's like the task has just been made 10 times harder. Hence, I just don't understand the leak. I don't understand why this news has come out now. Why now? Of all the timings, why now? Why not do it 5 games before the end of the season? You know, make it clear, look, let everyone know, let the fans know, let the manager know, the players, let everyone know, look, unfortunately, it hasn't worked out. Under the new regime, we're going to go a different way. We're going to get our own men in. We're going to get our own manager in, new structure and everything. But why make the task even harder on Saturday in the FA Cup final against Manchester City? Why make it even harder by leaking this information the day before the final? I mean, look, the club, I've looked at all the sites and I've looked at the club and everything like that. You know, they're still going with the notion that everything will be reviewed by the end of the season. So meaning after the FA Cup game. But, you know, with this leaked information out there now, it's kind of like it's made the manager's position untenable. You know, it just looks like he's definitely going. He's not going to survive this. And, you know, I think that's just bad timing from the club. I don't know who leaked it. It seems like the source is coming from within the club. And obviously the newspapers have run with it, a reporter or whatever. They couldn't hold it. They wanted to create headlines before a big match, a big cup final at Wembley. They wanted to create a headline. So obviously, look, they've run with it. The information is out there now. And it looks like Eric Ten Hag is a dead man walking anyway. So, you know, he is sad. He is sad. Look, he hasn't been the best. Eric Ten Hag has had a lot of injury problems, and also like a lot of the fans are not happy with the style of play, but I don't think any manager deserves that. Unless Ten Hag already knew about this, unless he knows, he's been told that he's going to leave at the end of the season and he's kind of like just kept it quiet. But whether he knew about it or he doesn't know about it, it's still not great timing for the leak to come out when he has come out a day before the final. You know, it just gives all the ammunition to Manchester City, and the game was already hard. It was already an impossible task. Hey, do you know what I mean? Man City are relentless, best team in the world, club team in the world. They are the best. They've got the best manager. So, I don't know what's going on at Manchester United. You know, it's like the new owners, they haven't learned from the Glazers. They're still making the same old mistakes. You know, I thought, you know, the new structure, new regime, they're going to do things different, but there's still leaks at the club, you know, which is not good. You know, looking forward, looking into the future, this is not a good start. if this is how you're gonna treat managers when you're starting, then I don't really know. But anyways, let's look at the potential candidates. Let's look at the managers who can potentially come in, who, you know, they've been doing the rounds in the newspapers. You know, what managers will come in. You're looking at Mckenna, who's currently at Ipswich, who was at Manchester United with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was in charge of the club. Look, he's a young manager, up and coming. He got Ipswich promoted twice. You know, he's got that style of play, and because he's young, you know, when we look at it, we can say Ineos, they're looking at long term. You know, they're looking at a long term project. You know, is that why they might look at someone like a Mckenna? He's young, up and coming. He's positive. Is that what Manchester United are about now? Is that the direction that they want to go? I feel like the new ownership need to make it clear what is the direction of the club. You know, what exactly are Manchester United about? What is the plan going forward in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? What exactly do the club want to achieve? Yeah, Ten Hag last season, he got into the Champions League and he won the League Cup. You know, that was progress. That was seen by a lot of fans as progress because United didn't win a trophy for about 5, 6 years. So that was progress. Now, if you bring in someone like a Mckenna, who's young, up and coming, is doing well, he's got a positive mindset, he's playing the right brand of football, how long do you give him? That's my question. How long do you give him? And how patient would the fan base be with Mckenna in charge of Manchester United? And also, what caliber players do you bring in for that manager? Are you bringing in young players? Are you going to go kind of the Chelsea route where you bring, you know, potential talent in, you know, players that have the potential to develop in the future, you know? And obviously, if you bring those type of caliber players in, then Mckenna does make sense because he can then build those players up. He's a young manager himself, so he can grow with the team. They can grow together. And we're looking at the future now. But Manchester United, are Manchester United really about the future? Can Manchester United afford 3 to 5 years of not winning trophies, not getting into the Champions League? Are the fans going to be that patient? I'm not too sure, you know. I don't know if I can answer that. I'm not too sure because if a young manager like a Mckenna comes in and if he hits the ground running, the style of play is good, he's winning games, that'll be fine. He'll be fine. You look like a masterstroke. You look like a genius move by Ineos and everyone, you know, everyone in charge of the club. You look like a masterstroke. But, you know, if he loses the first 3, 4 games and all of a sudden there's no style of play and it's taking him a while to bed in, how patient would the fan base be? How patient would the owners be? The new regime be? You know, because if you go with Mckenna, that's a long-term strategy. That's a long-term plan. But if in the beginning it's stuttering a bit and things are going wrong, the players are not taking on board what the tactics and everything else, where'd you go from then? How do you still give him time? That's the problem. That's it. That's some of the challenges that the club might face in the near future. If you bring someone like a Mckenna in, you need to at least guarantee him 2 to 3 years. You have to let him build. You can't do what Chelsea do. They bring Graham Potter in and then they get rid of him 6 months later because things are just not working out on the pitch. Is that what Manchester United are now about? Are they going to bring someone like Mckenna in? He signs a 2, 3 year deal, but then he leaves within 6 months because things are not going to plan? Or are they willing to bring him in, understand that he's a young manager, he's still learning his trade, and give him that time to embed himself, to really work with a team, bring in those young players, really build for the future? Are Manchester United that patient to give a manager that amount of time? Because Manchester United is one of the biggest brands in the world. Can they afford not to be in the Champions League for 2-3 years? Because getting back in the Champions League should be the first priority. Should be the first priority. It's not winning the league. Forget winning the league and all that. I think the fan base need to understand and exercise some patience and understand that that's not going to happen for a while, because the miles off Manchester City, Arsenal, even Liverpool, miles off. So winning the league is just not happening. How patient are the fan base and the owners? How patient are they willing to be to give a young up-and-coming manager like a Mckenna the time to really embed himself and really build a structure around the team and get the style of play going? And then maybe Manchester United can reap the rewards within the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe when Pep leaves and there's a void left, and maybe then they can capitalize on it. And also, how much are they willing to back Mckenna in a transfer market? So for me, the caliber of manager that is appointed after Ten Hag will let us know all about the owner's ambitions. Yeah, that's us looking at Kieran Mckenna if he comes in. Now let's look at if they go for a Poch. Now Poch just inherited a £1 billion squad at Chelsea. Yeah, he didn't make any of those signings. He inherited the squad. He did the best that he could. They had a lot of challenges in the beginning of the season. The style of play was a bit all over the place. But towards the end of the season, they started doing well. You're starting to see they were developing a pattern. The squad, there was an understanding going on. He did get his formation right. He did have kind of like a settled starting 11. And Poch started doing well. But is Poch the answer? Is Poch the answer? I mean, for me personally, I mean, I like Poch. I like him as a manager. I like him as a person. I like his character. But at big clubs, he hasn't succeeded. He's always come up short. At PSG, he won the league, but he also lost the league there. There was a season where PSG didn't win the league, and that was under Poch. He didn't do particularly well in the Champions League. He went at Chelsea. We see what happened. He was at Tottenham. They finished second, I believe, behind to Leicester, the season where Leicester won the league. Got to the Champions League final. Again, looked a bit clueless against Klopp and lost that. Is Poch the answer to Manchester United and the problems, the challenges that are facing Manchester United? Is he the answer? I mean, Poch can come in. You have a style of play. You have a style of play. Again, what type of caliber of players are you giving Poch? And how long are you giving Poch? Because we've seen at Chelsea, he was given a season and they got rid of him. After one season, they got rid of him. How long are Manchester United willing to give Poch to work and develop with the squad? A year, 2, 3 years? And if things don't go wrong, what next? What next? What next? You know, we do know that one thing about Poch, he can work with young players. We've seen him do that at Tottenham. We've seen him do at Tottenham, where he worked with the squad. He had a fantastic run at Tottenham. He didn't win anything, but the style of play, the brand of football, everything was there. Everything was good. But that took time. Do United have that time? Are they willing to be patient? Or are they going to be trigger happy like Chelsea? That's the thing. That's the thing. And how much control will someone like a Poch have over the, you know, signings and control of the squad and everything like that? Because we know with Mckenna, it's up and coming. You know, it'd be a dream for him to be the United coach. So with him, because he's young and up and coming, I feel like they can the owners can kind of work with him and kind of just buy the players for him and kind of like let him just coach the team. Let him just coach the team. Let him get on with what's on the pitch. But with someone like a Poch, would he want more control? Because he's way more experienced. He's worked at bigger clubs. So I don't think Poch will want to just come in and just be a yes guy. He won't want to be a yes man. He'll want some level of control. And the new owners, are they willing? Are they willing to actually give a manager that level of control? That's another question that needs answering. We don't know yet. So I've looked at Mckenna, I've looked at Poch. Poch is a bit more experienced. then Mckenna, but also he will come with his own challenges. Let's look at the other manager that that's been talked about, Thomas Tuchel. Now, Tuchel, again, experience is a winner. He's won the Bundesliga, he's won the French league, he won the Champions League with Chelsea. So he's a good candidate. He's out of the three, I say he's the strongest candidate. He's the more proven manager. He's handled big players. And he's won things. He's won more than Mckenna and Poch. But is that a long-term strategy? Now, if someone like a Tuchel was to come in, then we all know we got the answer from the owners that it's not a long-term project, because Tuchel has never been a long-term project type of manager. He comes in 2 or 3 years, he's out. Max 2.5 seasons, he's out of there. We've seen that with PSG, he wasn't there for long. We saw that at Chelsea, he was there for like 2 years, I believe. Then he got sacked. Then he's gone to Bayern Munich. Obviously, he was sacked midway through the season. Not sacked, but he agreed to mutually terminate his contract at the end of the season. Could it be Thomas Tuchel? That's a lot of experience, a proven winner, but again, comes with its own challenges. We can all see the different challenges that all three managers present. One is young, he's up and coming, he's playing a good brand of football, exactly what the owners want. He can work alongside with the owners and just be a coach, just coach the players, but he won't really interfere in transfer dealings and all that. So the owners, the scouting system, the director of football can just feed him the players and he'll work whoever is given. And he's a bit more easier to control, if you know what I mean, to like, you know, he won't challenge as much because he's young, he's up and coming, he's been given an opportunity of a lifetime, and he'll just be happy to just be the Manchester United coach. However, he lacks that experience to perhaps take Manchester United to the next level. But maybe that's what Manchester United want. Maybe they're looking to the future. Maybe they're not looking short term. That's Mckenna for you. Poch, he's been there. He's managed some big players as well. He's won a few things, even though he hasn't won anything in England, but he's won at PSG. He did well at Tottenham. He's developed players. He's got great relationship, great man management skills. You bring in a Poch, but then someone like a Poch, he'll want to kind of have a say on transfers. He'll want to have a say on what players come in and who he wants to work with. And is that what the ownership want? I don't think so. I don't think so. Then we look at Thomas Tuchel, experienced, but then he brings trouble wherever he goes. He's for some reason, he's always falling out with people. There's always problems. Whenever Thomas Tuchel goes to a club, there's always problems. At Chelsea, there was problems. PSG, Bayern Munich, there's been rumors of problems as well behind the scene, not getting on with certain players, not liking him as a person and stuff like that. But so that's other challenges that come with it. And he'll definitely challenge authority. Someone like Thomas Tuchel, who's been in these big clubs, he's won the Champions League. He's not just going to come in at Manchester United and just, you know, suck it all up and you can give him any players to work with. Now, he's going to want to have a say. He's going to want to have a say. And also, Thomas Tuchel, he's not a long-term plan type of manager. If you want Thomas Tuchel, you know you're bringing him in to kind of like get you into the Champions League, try and win a few cups, maybe try and go for the Premier League. But then if you're going to be going for the Premier League with Tuchel, you need to provide him with the funds and bring in the caliber player who can challenge the Manchester City and Arsenals of this world. And I don't think Manchester United at this current moment will be able to do that, to challenge Manchester City or Arsenal, whether on the pitch or financially. Because of financial fair play, they need to sell players. They need to sell players to bring in players. They'll have to sell players to bring in players. And if you want to bring the top caliber players that someone like a Tuchel want to work with, they cost a lot of money. They're not coming cheap. They're not coming cheap. You're looking at 60 million for a winger or 70 million for a winger. We've seen with Manchester United in the past, that hasn't always worked. Anthony, 90 million, however. Sancho, 80 million. It just hasn't worked. So that strategy of buying, you know, paying over the odds for players. I think that's dead. That's dead in the water for Manchester United. That's dead in the water for Manchester United. So for me personally, what I think the way I'm looking at things, the way things are going, is gonna be a Kieran McKenna. I think it's gonna be a Kieran McKenna. He's got the connection with the clubs. He's worked at Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He knows most of those players, even though the new owners are going to bring in new players over the summer and some players will be sold. And he's young, he's ambitious, he's playing a good brand of football, and he won't challenge authority. That's the way I see it. He'll toe the line. He's probably like a yes man. You know what I mean? I don't want to judge the guy, but he's probably not going to challenge them as much. He's going to work with whatever he's given. So whatever players, young players that might come in, players that might get bought by the club, he'll work with them and he'll coach them. And we might see a decent brand of football, but for me, he lacks experience. It's one thing working at Ipswich, being the Ipswich manager where there's no a lot of scrutiny. You come to Manchester United, all of a sudden, your world gets turned upside down. You're under the microscope. Every decision, everything you say will be scrutinized. Is he ready for that? Is he ready for that? Now, we've seen other clubs go the young route and give young managers that opportunity. We're just seeing Bayern Munich with Vincent Kompany. We've seen it. But if you're going to go with these up and coming young managers, you have to give them the time. You have to make it clear to them that this is a long-term strategy and the club are going to be patient with you to build a squad, build a style of play, and we'll see where we are in 2 to 3 years. And no pressure. You don't have to win anything. If you win a little trophy, FA Cup, League Cup, get into the Champions League, fantastic. But you can't all of a sudden, after 6 months, if the results are not going the right way, all of a sudden get rid of the guy. Then what's the point of hiring someone like a Mckenna? You might as well go with Tuchel. But I believe the club will go with a Mckenna because I think the club are going to look long-term and they want to work with a manager who is not going to really challenge them as much when it comes to transfer dealings, which I believe that Pochettino and Tuchel will challenge the owners when it comes to transfer dealings. So I don't think those two. I just don't see them getting the job. I just don't see him getting. So I think it's gonna most likely be Kieran McKenna. And if he is, good luck to him. Good luck to him. I really hope that the club decide to go in that direction. They give him the opportunity. They give him the chance to really build a team, get rid of some of the deadwood, get rid of some of the players that have been given chance after chance, season after season, that haven't actually achieved anything. Keep holding the club back. Yeah, get rid of those type of players. Bring in some young, hungry, ambitious players with potential, ability, who are willing to play for the badge. Bring them in and let the manager build them up. Let the manager coach them. Get a brand of play going on the pitch, and then we'll see where we are in 2 3 years. I think that's the long-term strategy that the club has to look at. But again, like I said, I feel bad for Eric Ten Hag, but this is the nature of the beast. I'm sure he understands. It's not ideal before a cup final. It's not ideal for him because then he probably has to face the music tomorrow. In a pre-match, interviews and stuff like that. They're going to ask him the question, and he's going to have to answer for all that. And it's not ideal preparation, but look. Is the nature of the beast. He understands the business. He's been a manager a long time now, so he knows how football is just it's a dog-eat-dog world. Do you know what I mean? There's no friends in football. It is what it is. You are judged on your results, and unfortunately for Eric Ten Hag, the results haven't gone well for him this season. And this is the consequences of it. So I do feel sorry for him. But I also understand why the club are kind of doing it. For me, my problem is the timing of it is all wrong. The timing of it is all wrong. You know what, guys? Listen, I don't want to keep blabbing on about it. Just let me know in the comments who you think should be the next Manchester United manager. We already know that most likely the club haven't confirmed it yet. But from the leaks that have come out today, we know most likely Eric Ten Hag will be sacked after the FA Cup. After the FA Cup final against Manchester City, win or lose, it looks like Eric Ten Hag will be sacked and he won't be with Manchester United for next season. So let me know in the comments, who do you think is the next manager? I've just laid out 3 of them: Kieran Mckenna, Mauricio Pochettino, and also Thomas Tuchel. I think, me personally, is going to be Kieran Mckenna, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Listen, guys, also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the link as well. Yeah, I really appreciate all the love that I've been getting, all the support. So keep it going, man. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing together, man. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.